Absolutely nothing surprises me anymore. Look at this whole situation with the friggin' coronavirus. The Ron Paul declared the coronavirus to be a hoax. I think what is it? A week later, his kid gets it. Rand Paul is the first congressperson to test positive for the coronavirus. You look up the Ron Paul Institute, and they've got nothing but, oh my god, one world government is coming, conspiracy theory nonsense. Oh, the Fed's gonna cause super mega hyperinflation, just like it was supposed to have caused it after 2008. And then again after 2012, and it doesn't happen. Like how Peter Schiff kept claiming, oh, there's going to be a global catastrophe in the US dollar and everything's going to be destroyed, so buy my gold now. It never ceases to amaze me how someone can be perpetually wrong and continue to insist that they're right. If you look at the entire thing, the Ron Paul Liberty Report, because nothing's more liberating than dying of poverty or dying of a lack of access to, basically everything. But then again, libertarianism has already been exposed as being one of the biggest hoaxes that have ever been put across the world. Even in the midst of the total failure of capitalism, there's always going to be that small sect of cultists that are going to keep screaming that everything government is automatically bad and that the free market will solve everything. It does not matter that all of history says the complete dead opposite. It does not matter if all experience proves them to be wrong. They will continue to do this. The country that has screwed up the response to the coronavirus worse than anyone else has been the United States. Now, Italy's been hit harder, but their response has been better. And possibly even the UK has a bad response. But it never seems to get past, it just never clicks in anyone's head that if you defund a socialized healthcare system like the UK, or if you decide to not have one like the US, that things are going to be worse. And here's the great irony. State everything is going to bail this goddamn system out. It is nothing but complete and utter hypocrisy that every Republican politician is lining up behind a UBI to deal with this crisis. These are the same people that scream that if you can see a doctor, it's big government, socialist, totalitarianism, Stalin stepping on your balls kind of thing. And yet here they are lining up for, basically a UBI. Possibly one of the ultimate evils in their eyes. Why? Because it'll save their decrepit bullshit system. And it is, again, nothing more than a gigantic hypocrisy. They want everything cut down to nothing. And all of it is going to be saved by doing the exact thing that they have avoided from the beginning. And they are nothing more than massive hypocrites. I'm going to assume that every ANCAP and every libertarian will take this coming UBI for the crisis and refuse on principle, because that's what they're all about. It's not about hating black people. It's not about, the freedom of the age of consent. It's all about principle, right? So I assume they won't be cashing those checks, right? And despite how loud the Ron Paul Liberty Report has been, I noticed that the rest of the libertarians and ANCAPs have been just a little bit quiet lately. It seems like when the problems really hit the fan, all of a sudden they like it when the state steps in and fixes things. Like how Texas was screaming its head off, "Oh, we want to secede because black president." And then all of a sudden the flood's happening. Well, federal government, please come and help us. Right. Yeah, it's just complete and utter hypocrisy. Capitalism will destroy itself through its own incompetence in dealing with an emergency. And every one of these people just lines up right behind the big evil government in order to save itself. Here's another good one. Where have all those anti-vaxxers been? You know, all the ones that scream a massive conspiracy just to hurt people? I noticed that they've been a little bit quiet lately. A lot of them seem to be just not really fighting the effort to find a vaccine to the coronavirus, even though they believe that vaccines don't work and they cause autism and they cause death to everybody because 0.01% death rate on a vaccine is worse than tens of thousands of people dying or millions dying as a result of not having a vaccine to that very disease. I noticed they've been a little bit quiet lately. Apparently, once it comes down to it, their pray away the disease seems to take a back seat to actual medical science. Seems to be the way it's been going. It's really interesting how that all works. And possibly my favorite is all the people who have been saying, "Oh, biology is a social construct." I noticed those people have been really quiet when they've noticed that the coronavirus has been destroying people. Apparently biology is not really a social construct. It's actually a physically, materially existing thing. And it's killing a lot of people. All of a sudden, that idea suddenly starts to slowly fade away. So as we're sitting through all of this, all of the hypocrisy from the right, and even the friggin' liberals who think they're left, there's just another point that I want to make. I don't think this is the end. I honestly think capitalism will do whatever it can to survive this virus. And I think it will. I think this is a tremendous opportunity for class consciousness. But this isn't going to be the death of capitalism. It's still going to be there. It's still going to survive. It may survive in an altered form, as it has all throughout history. But it's still going to be there. But that by no means that this is not a time to organize, to agitate. This is a very good time to do that. Because if you can look through all of this and see how much of an emergency this is, and how much private health care isn't going to solve the problem, and that a socialized system for healthcare is astronomically better in every regard, well, except for giving preferential treatment to the rich, I guess. Doesn't do that very well. If people can't see how much better a socialized healthcare system is when it deals with this outbreak that a private healthcare can't, if they still can't see how it's better after this, there is no helping them. Actually, there's one more thing I want to mention. Everybody's been saying since the beginning, it's just a flu, bro. It's just a flu. The media is just trying to scare you. More people die of the regular flu. See, the problem is that this flu spreads faster. And I'll ask you this. Do you really think China spent China sabotaged tens of billions of dollars of its own economy doing a quarantine, doing a lockdown for something that's just a flu? Do you think that the world has gone through all of this trying to fight this virus because it's just a flu? Do you think that all of this was over just because it's like no worse than the flu? What would be the point? If you can claim that and then claim that the regular flu is worse, then why not just use the regular flu as a reason? Come on. Yeah, I know the media likes to scare people, but the media also likes to lie and cover things up, too. If we have seen anything from the media through this entire whole ordeal, it's been the government has been trying to downplay it. The media has been trying to downplay it in order not to create panic, in order to save their precious goddamn market. That's not to say this is some kind of apocalyptic end, because it's not. The problem is that it could be. The chances of it are awfully small, but the potential is there, and the damage to the market is already done. We've already seen how much it's affected it, to the point where even Republicans are calling for a UBI in order to save themselves. And a group of them selling off their own stocks when they find out how bad things are and then don't tell the public. Kind of like how Rand Paul went to the Congress gym even though he knew he had the coronavirus and before he had announced it to anyone. Gee, I wonder if that violates the NAP. Yeah, that's a question for libertarian scholars to try to determine in the future. But through all of this, through all of everything that has ever happened to humanity, the Spanish flu of 1920, yellow fever in 1820, the Black Plague in 1720, human beings have always come out of these viruses. And we have more capacity now to survive than we've ever had, to survive viruses, than we've ever had before. So I think we are going to be okay in the end. The damage is going to be done. People are going to die. But we will survive. And we always have. We've survived far worse than this. So I think any of this apocalyptic ideas, of this being some kind of apocalypse, are nonsense. Theoretically, there's a very small chance this could destroy the entire world, or at least the human population of the world, but I sincerely doubt it. The chances are virtually non-existent. So I think people do just need to follow the recommended guidelines, be safe, stop hoarding, you assholes, because there are people out there who aren't hoarding, who then need to go and resupply, and they can't because you're being an asshole. If we all just practice common sense, we all keep our heads on straight, we'll make it through this. We always have before, and we probably always will. So to you, my audience, peace. Because one day, that's going to be possible.
Thank you for watching. If you like this program, then please head over to my Patreon page and set up a monthly donation. It's your donations that keep this program running. Also, if you would like, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share in various social media.